What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading California for Namm 2020. We are here with Michael Keene of the Faceless. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah. It's so awesome to have you here. It's been 3 years now since In Becoming a Ghost has come out, your latest record. I'll just get this question out of the way. Can we be expecting some new Faceless fairly soon, or?
Yes, this summer is the plan. Yeah. 3 years by number, but it's actually been, we actually just crossed the 2-year mark, like, I think 3 months ago, something. So, yeah, but this summer we're trying to get a release in maybe like July or August, something like that, yeah.
I've noticed that the Faceless music is very, very experimental. Like, I've heard people refer to you as deathcore. I saw elements of prog, elements of like so many different elements. I think it's fair to say you as a songwriter, you're like a mad scientist. You like to try new things and experiment.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, my whole approach to writing music has always kind of been, I write music that I want to hear, you know, and I just kind of have to hope that other people will like it too, you know. I think that's the best way to write music. I think if you're writing music for an audience, for other people, you're probably not writing your best music. You know, the really good stuff comes from what you want to hear. You know, what you want to put out there. You know, your own intellectual content that's like truly yours. So, yeah.
Do you have like a preconceived idea sometimes of what you want to write, or is your guitar work like rather improvised, or do you have like a theoretical element like this scale, this mode? Or?
You know, I don't. Actually, I don't think modally often at all. I usually think just in key centers for the most part. Like when I'm soloing and stuff, I just think like key center, key center, key center. You know, I tend not to think modally so much. I kind of actually Alan Holdsworth, like he had an interesting approach. Whenever a chord came, he kind of looked at the fretboard as like all the notes that were available to him, like if you imagined them lighting up, you know, and he just you have all those notes available, and that kind of allows you to play more like a wind instrument or something, where you can have these like, you know, big jumps and stuff. You know, you kind of move around, less linear, because I mean guitar is obviously a very linear instrument. So I find that helps to kind of break away from that a little bit. But as far as songwriting, you know, I don't really go into it with any one like given way that I do it. It's different every time to a degree, you know.
I have two more questions for you, but as somebody who's seen you live countless times, where you played a Planetary Duality in its entirety, and when you played Summer Slaughter this year, actually I've seen you on Summer Slaughter a lot of years, but like, is it a different method of execution on how you play your material live versus like in the album, or is there like maybe a similar energy?
I mean, I try and, I mean, because of the nature of what we do, you know, we're a technical metal band, and you know, the live show, I kind of look at it as we're entertainers and we're there to execute the stuff the way that people are expecting to hear it. So I kind of go into it trying to execute it as close to the record as possible. You know, it would be really fun to be in like a jam band and just, you know, like improv solos and stuff. But you know, that's in the world of music that we're in. You know, you don't really see that too much, and I think people are coming expecting to hear the stuff on the records, especially with my soloing style on the Faceless. It's very vocal, kind of, you know. You can kind of like sing the solos and stuff, you know. So I think people kind of want to hear the stuff as it is on the record. So I try and get it as close to as it is on the record.
And the final question I wanted to ask you is, you know, we're standing right in front of your setup right here, the Keene machine. Do you just want to talk about like the gear that you use, just like first the company that you use, and like why do you use the gear that you use?
Well, I use Vola guitars because they're amazing, one, and because they're really good to me. They're great people, and they really know how to make a guitar. These These things are awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. They made me exactly what I wanted, and it was more than I even hoped it would be. It's amazing. As far as the rest of my setup, I've been using amp sims live actually, just because like so many metal bands, like you kind of have to have a computer in the equation now. I mean, some bands don't, but we play to a click. We're on in-ears. We all hear the click, and it helps us, just like play extra tight. And we have a lot of orchestral stuff and industrial stuff that's on tracks. So that's all there. And I figured, why not just pull up an amp sim and have I can just automate it to change the channels. I don't have to have a pedal board.
You don't have to pull the Tom Morello.
Yeah, so it's super easy. And I just got tones I guess actually the real reason I used the amp sims is because I used them on the last 2 records, and I use all of the presets, or not the presets, but the presets, the tones that I created for the last 2 records. When those songs come, it's the exact same tone from the record. It's the exact same amp sim. So it's really easy to just throw that in the computer, and it's exactly the same live.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the Planetary Duality tour, I could have sworn I thought it was like you were pretending to play and there was like backing tracks, but no, you were kidding.
Nope. We don't have any guitars on backing tracks. We don't even have like third, like layer guitars on backing tracks. I figure like if you can't play live on like then don't put it on the record. Don't put more guitar tracks on a record than you can recreate live. If it's strings or keyboards or something like that, someone who's not standing on the stage, that's one thing. But yeah, that's a big trend right now. People putting like 5 layers of guitars, and there's all kinds of tracks going on and stuff. I'm not really into it, but yeah.
We used to have just the 5th Beatle. Now we have like the 27th Beatle.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. You just said we could be expecting some new stuff from the Faceless this summer, right?
Yep.
Are you planning to make? We kind of just in a way described it, but like, can you give like a hint on what you're going for the new record, or is it going to be something like that we know and love from Planetary Duality and Becoming a Ghost?
I think Faceless fans probably by now, the one thing that they've come to expect is to not expect anything. To expect that it's going to be not what they think it's going to be, and that's kind of the case with this. But I can say that it's definitely, what's written so far is definitely more progressive. It's more out there. It's more experimental. More singing. More guitar solos. If it's even possible to have more guitar solos. Some of our songs have like 6 guitar solos, but yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's kind of what we're going for. But I'm really happy with the material we have so far, and yeah, we're just kind of going for more of that, like just kind of prog metal. It still falls under the category of death metal more or less, but we're definitely trying to push more in like the prog metal direction.
Well, Michael, thank you so much. Everybody, Michael Keene of the Faceless. Be sure to check out new music coming soon. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York, invading California for Namm 2020.